could sit here and make a video saying, here is how you can make thousands of organic sales on Etsy. This is how you can make thousands of dollars, reach the six-figure mark, and that would get a ton of clicks. It would get a ton of views. The reality is, in today's landscape, it is going to be essential to be marketing your print-on-demand business in some way, shape, or form. Creating a six-figure print-on-demand business, especially on Etsy, is a lot of work and does take some strategy to actually get it to those levels of results that you might be striving for. Are there sellers who have scaled their shop to those levels completely organically? Yes, there are absolutely sellers who have done that. However, is that likely, or is that something that is common and what others that are starting a print-on-demand business should expect? Not really. And so in this video, I want to give you some realistic business strategy that I've used to scale my own print-on-demand business, as well as the same strategy that I've had many of my students in my mentorship group use as well. If you are interested in becoming a part of that community, the POD connection, the link is in the description if you want some more information on that. If you are new to my channel, my name is Taylor. Hello. I am a print-on-demand seller who has sold over $250,000 on Etsy selling print-on-demand products. On my channel, I share all of the things that have worked for me to get my business to this point and hopefully to inspire and help you in getting you to your goals with print-on-demand as well. The print-on-demand business model is one that was able to completely replace my corporate 9-to-5 income, and so I'm able to do this full time now today, and I hope that that serves as inspiration for you in what the possibilities are with this business model. With that being said, I want to go back to my 9-to-5 days and talk a little bit about the business that I was in and what I have taken from that and actually brought into my print-on-demand business in terms of marketing. My corporate 9-to-5 had me in the business world. My role was working with business owners, and my job was to help them grow their businesses as well as overcome any obstacles that they might be facing. So why I wanted to share this is because there is one thing that I think stands very true to any business that I've ever worked with and also is applicable to a print-on-demand business. And that is that marketing is a non-negotiable when it comes to actually growing and sustaining a business. Typically, one of the biggest components of a business is their customers or clients. And in order to get those customers and clients, there needs to be some type of strategy in place. And so when it comes to marketing your business on Etsy, and even depending on what your revenue goals are with your shop, maybe if you are on this side over here, where maybe you're making less than 50 sales a month, you're seeing a little bit of revenue, a little bit of profit each month in your pocket, you might want to incorporate a free marketing strategy so that you are not putting a lot of money into something that isn't bringing necessarily a ton of return for you quite yet. One of the best free marketing strategies that are out there is social media. You do not have to show your face in order to market on social media. I know that's usually a big deterrent for many people. They don't want to be the face of their business or brand, and you don't have to be. You can simply just use mock-up images that you're using in your shop already and bring those into your marketing strategy. You can use those images on platforms like Instagram, TikTok, or even Pinterest. Now, if you are over here and you are seeing a little bit more sales volume, or maybe you don't even have the sales volume yet, but you have the goal to be a six-figure Etsy seller, then you may want to increase your marketing efforts and increase your marketing strategy to reflect the direction and the goals that you have with your business. And for the seller who wants to grow faster on Etsy, there is already a built-in marketing tool that is, in my opinion, the best marketing tool that could exist, and that is with Etsy Ads. How Etsy ads work. You will select a budget that you would want to run for your Etsy ads. The budget that you select is a per day dollar amount. You can actually start using Etsy ads with a budget as low as $1 per day and actually increase that amount all the way up to over $1,000 per day. But typically there is a limit when you do first get started. I have seen limits of up to $25 and then it jumps to $50, $100, $250, and so on and so forth. Generally, how you're going to see that limit increase for you to be able to invest more money into Etsy ads is by using Etsy ads and starting to use the majority of your budget. Once you start using the majority of your budget, Etsy then gets you into the next bracket per se of dollars that you can spend into Etsy ads. Now, how that budget is actually spent is it is spent on a pay-per-click basis. As Etsy begins to show the listings that you have ads on, you will start to eat up some of that budget depending on which listings are being clicked. When you are scrolling through the search results and you see listings that say ad by Etsy seller, this is not actually spending the ad budget that the seller has in place. This is just showing you their ad, and then what will actually spend that ad is when an individual clicks on that listing. So if this were your listing and a customer clicked onto it, that is where you are going to see a portion of your ad budget being used. Now, depending on the listing, the niche that that listing is in, the keywords that you are ranking for that listing, and for the placement of that ad in Etsy's search results, is going to determine the amount that is spent of your budget. Typically, if it's a more competitive niche, you might find that it is a higher cost per click. You might be spending upwards of 30 to 35 cents potentially on that click for that listing. Or if it is a less saturated, less competitive keyword and niche that you are in, it might be as low as 5 cents to 10 cents. It really does vary, and you can't necessarily put a certain portion of your ad budget on specific listings. Whatever you have your ad budget set to, and whichever listings you decide to turn ads on for, will just automatically disperse that money amongst those listings, but not in an even way. Some might spend more, some might spend less. It really does depend. But when you do have your budget set, you will never spend more than that budget in a given day. If you had your ad budget set at $5, that would mean that up to $5 per day would be spent on ads. It also does not necessarily mean that your entire budget will be spent, because again, in order to spend that budget, you do have to have clicks onto your listings. What I have found the most value in by running Etsy ads is by the data that is provided from them. And in my business, I have chosen to run Etsy ads for the purpose of data over profit. In my business, I have used Etsy ads since the very beginning of opening my shop. And I started with a very low budget. I was only spending $1 to upwards of $3 a day when I first began with Etsy ads. But I really do attribute the use of them to why I was able to scale my business so quickly. And that is because I used the information from those ads for the data, and I wasn't necessarily super concerned about the profit while I was just starting out. Let me show you what I mean, and let's jump into my Etsy ad dashboard. Here I have set this for this year, so just looking at January to May of the current year, and you can see a few different metrics that I want to break down. So the first thing that we'll see in our Etsy ad dashboard is our views. Now, this is something that I find is very misleading and very confusing for many, because the views that you will see if you are running Etsy ads here in your Etsy ad dashboard versus the views that you will actually see on your main dashboard are going to vary significantly. And the reason why is the views that are being shown here in the Etsy ad dashboard are actually your impressions. Impressions meaning when a customer is going through the search results and they might scroll through and pass your ad for your listing, that is considered an impression. It doesn't necessarily mean that they clicked onto the ad or clicked onto the listing. That would actually be shown here in your clicks, which your clicks here often reflect closer to the number of your actual views that are on your main dashboard. It's a little bit weird how they have this here, but that is why this views number here in your Etsy ad dashboard often looks significantly inflated compared to what you see in your main dashboard. So that is your total impressions of your ads. Then the next metric that you can take a look at is your clicks. So this is how many times somebody actually clicked into the ad for your listing that they saw. This is super impactful to the growth of your Etsy shop, because when you think about the lifespan of an Etsy listing and how it actually gets pushed out further within the search results and rank higher in the search results is through activity. Etsy wants to see positive activity and positive interaction with your listing. Some of those interactions that Etsy wants to see is, first, we have clicks, which we have here, and this is something that we can increase the amount of by running Etsy ads. When we increase the amount of interaction and clicks into our listing, Etsy is going to push our listing out more organically, and as a result, these clicks can help boost our listing even further. There are other forms of activity and interaction that Etsy wants to see as well, such as your listing not only being clicked, but also being favorited. And then of course, we have the ultimate form of interaction and activity, and that would be having a sale on a listing and then also getting a positive review. But when we increase the opportunity to have more of that positive interaction, have more of those clicks that lead to potential favorites, that lead to sales, that lead to positive reviews by running ads, that is something that is going to increase the momentum in your shop. The next metric would be orders. So these are simply just the orders that you would have as a result of ads. So in my shop, I've had 643 orders as a result of ads, meaning somebody clicked on my ad and they purchased the product directly from that ad. From those 643 orders, I generated a little under $18,000 in revenue. And in order to get those 643 orders, that nearly $18,000 in revenue, I did spend a little over $7,500 in ads, which I know is like a little bit of like a jump scare, but running ads and investing into my business to market and grow it has increased my organic sales on top of everything. So for context, if we compare that to my detailed stats here, we can see that in total, I've sold nearly $55,000 in revenue this year alone. So when you see that number compared to the ad spend, it doesn't look as scary. And overall, my Etsy ads are bringing me in more profit than I would have without them. And I'm getting more organic sales as a result. When you are in your Etsy ad dashboard and you scroll down, this is where I find the most valuable information. And if we just take a look at this listing right here, the main metric that I like to look at here is my return on ad spend, or the ROAS on the far right. I like to make sure that this number is staying above 3. Often when it is falling below 3 for my pricing structure, that is where I notice that my ads are spending more than I'm seeing back in revenue and ultimately profit. The next thing that I like to take a deeper dive into is the detailed stats. This is where I get tons of insight as to what customers are actually searching for that led them to my specific product, so that I can not only optimize the listing for this specific product, but I can also optimize future listings that I do create, because I have firsthand data right here for what a customer is actually typing in the search bar, which is what we want our titles and tags to reflect, so that we are going to rank higher in search. Where I like to look is the searches that led to this ad. You might have a different number off to the right here. And depending on how long you've been running an ad on a particular listing, you might not have any data here yet, or you might have more data here. It really just depends on how long you have been advertising that particular listing. Which, quick tip, if you are going to run Etsy ads, be sure to give them at least 30 days to really get the most information and the most data out of them. If you turn them on just for a couple days, you see that it's spending money, but then you aren't seeing sales, and then you turn them off, it is not serving you anything. It is actually just costing you money at that point. If I click this drop down, I always filter by clicks. I want to see which keywords are getting the most amount of clicks, because when I do get a click on an ad, it spends money. And if something is being clicked a lot and it's not seeing a return, it's not seeing orders as a result, that means my budget is being spent and I am not collecting revenue and profit as a result. For the privacy of this listing, I have blocked out some information and replaced some information with some examples so that you can still get some value out of what I would look for in this section. So what you can see here are 2 different keywords. The first keyword phrase is women's pickleball t-shirt, and the second keyword is pickleball. Now, it's safe to assume that this is for a pickleball listing. And these are 2 different phrases that I am ranking for and being picked up on the Etsy search results for to show my ad for this listing. Both of these keywords are earning me clicks, but only one of them has actually brought me in an order. And that is for the first keyword here, women's pickleball t-shirt. When it comes to the keywords that you will find as you browse this section of your own listings, you may find some things that seem really relevant to your listings, and you might find some keywords in here that seem completely irrelevant to your listings. What I would encourage you to do, and what I personally do in this section, is to only keep selected the highly relevant keywords. For this example here, I am happy to keep on women's pickleball t-shirt because it is very specific and very relevant to the listing that I have here. It is a women's pickleball t-shirt. I am not going to keep on pickleball. And that might be something that a lot of people would think, well, it is a pickleball item. However, for a buyer who is only searching the word pickleball, they are not looking for something specific enough for me to want that to earn a click and to spend my ad budget. I am very selective about the keywords that I do leave in this as relevant. And that is because it is going to help Etsy improve the ads, improve the listing and where it is being placed so that I can hopefully spend less of that budget towards these terms that just don't really make the most sense for my item. That's also not to say that that listing is not going to rank organically for those different broad phrases like pickleball or pickleball shirt. That is just saying that I don't want my ad to show for those broad phrases. I want to be picky with my ads, and then if it ranks organically for those, that's not going to eat up my budget. And if it results in a sale, then it is a win-win. Since I have filtered this by clicks, I usually just focus on the keywords that have actually earned clicks. As I scroll down through here, we'll start to get into some keywords down at the bottom that don't have a ton of views and don't have any clicks at all. I don't personally waste the time going through and deselecting anything down here that might not be relevant because it's not earning any clicks. And because it's not earning any clicks, it's not spending any of my budget. So I rather invest my time where I know money is being spent and really try to fine tune that the best that I can so that I can grow. If you are running ads and you aren't spending any of your ad budget, or if you are running ads and you are spending all of your ad budget, but you are not seeing any sales, I have this video linked up above for you where it talks about troubleshooting your Etsy shop and specifically how to troubleshoot those types of things that you might see within your Etsy ads, whether you're spending your budget, not spending your budget. In that video, I provide you the solutions that you might need to get past those sticking points. I'm also going to link my first Etsy ad video that I made. It was one of my earlier videos on my channel, but the information is still super valuable, and I discussed in there how to determine a budget that might work for you as you might be just getting started out with ads. And if you have any questions about Etsy ads, definitely leave them in the comments down below. Let me know your thoughts on ads. Are you using them? What do you think about them? Are you for ads, against ads? And as always, I hope you're having a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world, and I will see you in the next one.